Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, this is Boisterous coming to you with some Grandmaster League Gosu out of the Shadow Temple. Down here in the south position we have Complexity's Drewbie spawning in as the red Terran, and up here in the top position we have LMntStallion spawning in as his opponent, the blue Terran. As this game starts off, I would just like to note that I think Drewbie is actually one of the first, really mainstream players, gets reasonable results in tournaments, that kind of level of player that I've ever commentated, which for 4 months, 5, actually, am I at 6 months now? No, I think I'm at 4. I should really know that off the top of my head. Alright, I'll figure that out later. Looks like both of our players are going for just the standard supply depot. Drewbie's going for, the more economical placement of the supply depot, whereas Stallion is going for the more protective placement. I like the more economical placements in a TV2 matchup because honestly, this isn't going to help you that much. Because when most attacks happen in sort of TVTs, both players have their naturals, so the defensive line will instead be down here instead of up here. And I doubt Drewbie would be going for any sort of cheesy play. That's not really what he's known for. Both players going for barracks. I think actually they might be exactly at the same time. Actually Drewbie's is a couple of seconds ahead, so no real major nothing major coming out from there for a lead for other players. SCVs are tied. Stallion's actually a bit ahead as far as SCVs go, just a couple seconds. So a very, very even game right now. It looks like both players are cutting SCVs to get their orbitals out ASAP. And yep, there we go. So both orbitals going down, both players going for basically the exact same build. Neither one dropping a gas yet, both of them getting their second supply depots. So just extremely standard TVT play. Kind of sort of marine heavy, I would say. Purely because there's no reactors down for either side. And they're both nearing 18 gas. I think 18 gas is when you want to get your refinery. I think. I might be completely wrong. I don't play Terran that much. Which is something I'm trying to fix. I'm laddering as Terran. It's just, yeah, I don't play Terran that much. And yeah, but it looks like we're actually having a bunker at the front, so this is amazingly protective out of LMntStallion. He's just going to be a bit behind as far as the command center goes. He's going for the in-base command center, whereas his opponent is actually going for the down on the low ground command center. I like this placement more, just because at this point in the game you're not in that much danger of an attack from your opponent, plus on a map like Shadow Temple where you can watch this watchtower and really get a nice defensive position. And if your opponent came out with siege tanks or something super aggressive like that, I think that this wouldn't really help you at all. They really wouldn't help you any more than the command center on the low ground. Plus the command center on the low ground essentially cuts its build time by 10-ish seconds, because that's how long it would take this command center to float over here. So unless he's just going to use this as a macro orbital command, I don't think it's that effective, and even as a macro orbital command it's still not that effective. Plus I think Drewbie actually scanned it, and he did, so he knows exactly what's up. He knows that there's a command center there, so it's not even really hidden. We have the rocks to the third going down for Drewbie. I think this is a bit of an interesting choice, purely because that kind of opens up a big route. I know that Stallion's gonna have to knock down these rocks, but it basically makes bunkers out here much less effective, because Marines can kind of just swing in through the backside. Marines, tanks, medevacs, Hellions, all that crap can just swing in through the backside and go and dive right into the mineral line at his natural. We do have a bunker going down at the front. It's for Drewbie, so his line of defense is going to be, like I said earlier, right here. Which I think is where a lot of Terrans want it. And actually it does look like this is going to be kind of a macro OC. I'm guessing he's going to lift it off and use it as his natural one too. I'm just wondering when he's going to do that. He's lost quite a bit in economy at this point. I mean, he's not behind in workers per se, but just the fact that he has so many workers on his main means that's going to mine out that much faster than Drewbie's. So he's going to need a faster third, or he's going to need to get a fourth faster to keep up with the keep up with just 3 bases. So I definitely like this kind of play out of Drewbie more than I like Stallion's. Purely because I kind of like the risky plays, especially when they pay off like this one has for Drewbie, because he honestly, he didn't lose anything by building this orbital command, and if you don't lose anything, you gain something. That's essentially a win. And actually, I just noticed these two. So he's not here. He's at 33 SCVs currently, just because I'm fairly sure these two are stuck until any sort of medevacs can get out and lift them out of there. That's actually kind of funny. However, we do have +1/+1 coming out for Drewbie. So actually, +1 ground weapons is coming out for Stallion, and Drewbie is going for some pretty heavy upgrade builds with this double NG bay. He doesn't have an armor yet, so he's not going to be able to go for a really fast 2-2 marine. However, he does have 2 tech labs to Stallion's 1, so he is going those. So he's getting upgrades much faster, whereas Stallion is kind of just going for this mass marine play. Even though the marines are going to be slightly less upgraded, I think the numbers will absolutely destroy the stim pack. Especially until medevacs get out, because until medevacs get out, stimming his marines is really going to hurt him more than I think it's going to hurt the opposing force. And it looks like we have Stallion shooting down the rocks at the golds. I prefer this a lot over taking out the rocks that lead to your third, just because it doesn't really open up any counterattack paths. And the gold is a more efficient base. You need less SCVs to mine it for about the same amount as you get off a normal base, because instead of you needing 2 per patch at 8 patches, you need 2 per patch at 6 patches. So to saturate a gold, you only really need 18? Yeah, 18 SCVs, because 12 for the minerals plus 6 for gas is 18. Whereas on a normal base you need 22, I believe. That plus mules are way more effective on gold bases, like ridiculously more effective. Instead of being 6 SCVs, I think they get bumped up to 8. I might be completely wrong there. Actually, no, that sounds right, because rich minerals are 7 instead of 5. And yeah, that sounds right. I'm just going to go with it. We do have a drop coming out from Stallion with actually his first medevac. He's not even going to use that to support his army. And he also doesn't have any sort of structured defense at the front. It looks like his factory, what's going to win the race? SCV. No question. Hands down, SCV. And yeah, there you go. The command center is going down for Drewbie. That factory is just so sad. It's going to go sit itself next to the command center and just throw on its ball face and go, oh, that was so close. I almost denied it. However, we do have the command center floating over to the gold for LMntStallion. So he's going to be an economic monster fairly soon, especially because his third is so much faster than Drewbie's. It's going to be landing in a few seconds, and Drewbie really just started building his, and actually that marine could have been microed a bit better and delayed it for like another 10 seconds and been really annoying. I'm not sure why Drewbie did that, and Drewbie actually is getting supply blocked by this drop quite heavily. Oh, this is a oh no, that was a macro fail supply depot too, so he lost 2 supply depots worth of supply because that one had extra supplies orbitally dropped on it. So instead of providing the average, of course it doesn't tell me how much supply it adds. Nice, I should know this too. Wow, okay. Instead of adding on however much supply his supply depot adds on, which I think is 10, 8? 8, yeah, 8. God damn it. It adds on an extra 8 on top of that. So yeah, he basically just got mega supply blocked. That's really annoying for Drewbie. And his factory is sitting here denying the third, but it doesn't matter because the third actually isn't over there. And Drewbie's actually flying in here with 3 medevacs. This could be potentially very dangerous unless it flies right into the missile turret. The missile turret. Oh god, the missile turret. Oh god, the missile turret. Missile turret's so OP. So BM. We do have the medevac flying in here. I don't know why it's landing right here. I mean, he knows that the drops are coming in. It's fairly clear. I'm surprised he isn't just going for the back of the mineral line, because there's actually no turrets over here. To defend the mineral line, there's only really turrets on that side. So he's going to be going right for the mineral line. Let's see how many workers he can kill. He's managed to get 18. 18 is actually, that's a pretty nice mop-up, to be quite perfectly honest. He got 18 plus a factory that had a reactor on top of it. If he can get that reactor, aim for the reactor. Oh no, he's just gonna pick up and whew. That was a scary moment. Oh, there we go. Medevacs themselves flew over there. Yeah, that was a very scary moment for that medevac. The macro out of Drewbie isn't that bad. However, he's so outnumbered right now. Even with the fact that he's going for this kind of really fancy drop play, I think he's going to lose just because of straight macro issues, with Stallion just doing it so much better. He has way more barracks, pumping way more marines, and Drewbie's actually floating a lot of minerals and a lot of gas. Actually, he just spent a lot of minerals on, I'm guessing, some sort of infrastructure. He's getting 2 more barracks and 3 more reactors, so I guess that's where all those minerals went. And he's going to start producing a lot more marines, but I think it's just going to be too little too late as this giant push comes through from Stallion. I'm surprised he's not pushing into this, because I feel that even if Drewbie had siege tanks, it wouldn't matter. This is kind of a wrecking ball of a force. It's just a giant ball of 2-1 marines with combat shields and stim. I think he's going to let his medevacs heal them a little bit. However, I don't think that is the correct decision. I think he should really just be going for the trap and springing it. And yeah, he's going to mop up quite well here, I feel. Because Drewbie's Marines, their 3-3 has not yet kicked in. And all of these Marines, I feel like they're getting overstimmed a bit, but I don't think it matters. This arc just got absolutely destroyed for Drewbie, and Drewbie GG's and leaves the game. Alright guys, thanks for watching this Boisterous video. Head on over to youtube.com/user/boisteroussc2 if you want any more VODs that I've produced. Also send any replays you want commentated into boisteroussc2@gmail.com. And if you want me to like highlight a spot and produce like an extra video that's 2 or 3 minutes long, just give me like a time-stamped spot. I prefer it to be like battles more than anything else really. However, army comps, your base positioning, all of that stuff I will also look at and produce an extra video. It'll probably only be like 1 minute to 3 minutes long, and that will always come out the day after. But yeah, basically just give me like a timestamp time and then say, please analyze the battle that happened, or please analyze what I could have done better with my production, or any of that stuff, and I will go ahead and try to produce that out for you guys. Anyway, you can also check the Battle.net thread for any news that I really have, and you can post your support there, say that you love or hate me or whatever the hell. Yeah, check out the VODs on youtube.com/user/boisteroussc2 and send in all your replays to boisteroussc2@gmail.com. Oh, and also do not forget to subscribe. I'm going to stop rambling now, so Boisterous signing out.